I don't remember much from the hit. Just the blur of motion, the thud of my body hitting the turf, and then nothing. The pain hit me later, though. It came in waves, sharp, brutal. I couldn't feel my legs. I was just a mess of shattered bones and bruised pride. They rushed me to some shitty hospital out on the edge of town. The kind of place you wouldn't want to end up in unless you were dying. And maybe not even then. Marcus and Jake came along, probably thinking they'd get a chance to rub it in when I didn't make it. The nurse was the first sign something was off. She had that face, too wide a grin, eyes a little too hollow. She talked slow, real slow, like she had all the time in the world. "Don't worry," she said. "We'll take good care of you." Yeah, right. The place was dead quiet. Too quiet. No other patients. No sounds of anyone doing their job. Just the hum of fluorescent lights overhead. My body was wrecked, but my mind was still working fine. I tried to joke with Marcus and Jake, but the words sounded fake. Like a man trying to make his last days easier to swallow. Kept nodding off, drifting in and out. The painkillers doing their job. When I woke up, though, they were gone. No goodbye, no nothing. Just gone. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe they just went to get something to eat. Maybe they were checking out. I called out their names. Weak, hoarse, but nothing. The silence was thick, suffocating. And then I heard it. A crash, a scream. It wasn't natural. It didn't belong here. "Marcus, Jake?" I croaked, but no one answered. The door opened. She was there, the nurse, but not like before. She was different. Her movements jerky, wrong. Like she wasn't really moving, but being dragged by invisible strings. And her smile, Jesus Christ, it was wide enough to split her face in two. I didn't even have the strength to ask her where my friends were. I didn't care anymore. I was just trying to hold on to some shred of sanity. And then Jake appeared, bloodied, panicked. His eyes were wild. He grabbed the bed rail like it was the only thing keeping him alive. He opened his mouth to speak, but he wasn't fast enough. The nurse was faster. Her hands were around his neck before he could say a word. She snapped it like a twig. Just like that. It happened too fast. The kind of thing that makes your stomach churn and your skin crawl. I couldn't move. Couldn't do anything but watch. And then the lights went out. When I woke up again, everything was calm. The room was clean. The walls freshly painted. The air smelled like fucking lavender. No blood, no Jake, no nurse. Just me, alone. A doctor came in. He smiled, looked like he was reading from some script. "Good to see you awake," he said, all chipper, like he hadn't just watched a man get his neck snapped in front of me. I tried to talk, to ask him where they went, but he just shrugged. "You were alone when they brought you in. There was no one else. I should have known. I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. I didn't want to. I left the place in a wheelchair a few weeks later. Football career gone. Hell, my life was gone. But at night, I still hear Jake scream. I still see her grin. And one night, I woke up to a note. Red ink. Messy. Like it was written by a fucking drunk. "You were never alone. We're still here." I didn't need to ask who it was. I already knew.